Welcome to the Deep Dive. We sift through the noise to bring you the core insights from key sources. Today, we're diving into a market you might not think about every day, the global cervical vertebra tractor market. Our guide for this is a really thorough report from Cognitive Market Research. It's called Global Cervical Vertebra Tractor Market, Trends and Projections. And our mission today is simple. Pull out the key stuff for you, the revenue trends, which countries are driving growth, and where this market could be heading by, say, 2033.
Yeah.
Now, cervical vertebra tractor.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty clinical, doesn't it?
It does a bit, yeah.
But the reasons behind its growth are actually very now. Think about how much time we spend sitting looking at screens, all that tech neck.
Right. Sedentary lifestyles, working from home,
Yeah.
it all adds up.
Exactly, and that's creating real spinal issues for a lot of people, which is why this market, seemingly niche, is actually really taking off. Okay, so let's unpack this, starting with the big picture view, the global market. The report says it pulled in just over $114 million back in 2021, and it's projected to hit about $150 million by 2025. But the real interesting part, by 2033, it's expected to jump significantly, reaching over $260 million.
Yeah, that's more than double the 2021 figure. And what's fascinating here is that consistent growth. We're looking at a compound annual growth rate, CAGR, of 7.1%. That's pretty solid.
I think 1%, yeah.
And that sustained growth, it tells you something important. It signals, a real underlying demand that's growing. People are becoming more aware of neck pain, spinal health.
In looking for solutions.
Exactly. Actively seeking solutions. So the market isn't just growing, it's maturing.
Okay, so where is this growth actually happening? Let's zoom in a bit, maybe start with North America.
Yeah.
So North America, the market was worth almost $32 million in 2021.
Right.
Projected to hit over $41 million by 2025, and then forecasted to climb near $70 million by 2033. And no huge surprise, the U.S. is the big driver there, makes up most of that.
Predictably, yeah.
Canada's showing steady growth too, contributing solid numbers.
But here's a little detail that caught my eye. While the U.S. leads in, sheer dollar value, Mexico actually shows the highest AGR in North America. It's over 10%, 10.2% to be precise.
Wow, okay. That's quite high.
It is. Starting from a smaller base, around $500,000 in 2021, but projected to grow to over $2 million by 2033.
So what does that usually point to, that kind of rapid growth?
Well, it could be several things. Maybe increasing disposable income, rising health awareness, perhaps even better distribution channels, or a successful direct-to-consumer push. It definitely suggests something dynamic is happening there.
Interesting. Okay, let's hop over to Europe then. What's the story there?
Yeah.
Europe's market was just over $27 million
Yeah.
in 2021, set to rise to about $35 million in 2025, and expected to clear $60 million by 2033. Germany seems to be leading the pack in Europe, showing strong growth up to nearly $13 million by 2033.
Yeah, Germany's often a leader in European health markets.
And the UK, France, Italy, they're all contributing solidly as well.
Right, but if we connect this to the bigger picture, look at the rest of Europe segment.
Okay.
That category grows from around $4 million to over $11 million. And it has the highest CAGR within Europe at about 8.5%.
Higher than the major economies.
Yep. Which suggests this isn't just concentrated in the big players. The demand, the awareness, it's spreading more widely across the continent. Maybe better market penetration, maybe increased healthcare access generally.
That makes sense. Wider adoption.
Oh!
Okay, now, Asia-Pacific. The report suggests this region is set to become the largest market overall.
That's a key projection, yeah, a really significant shift.
We're seeing a huge surge there, from about $41 million in 2021, projected to hit almost $100 million by 2033, nearly $97 million, I think.
It's massive growth.
And China is the clear frontrunner, looking at $17 million in 2021, projected over $40 million by 2033. That's a strong CAGR too, around 7.5%.
China's scale is obviously huge.
Definitely. And then you've got India, Japan, South Korea also showing strong contributions, and the rest of APAC also growing quite notably.
What's really fascinating about Asia-Pacific is not just the scale, but perhaps how the growth is happening.
What do you mean?
Well, think about the adoption of technology, especially home-use devices. In densely populated areas, or even remote ones, the convenience of an at-home solution is likely a massive factor.
Avoiding clinic visits, accessibility.
Exactly. And maybe lifestyle changes there are mirroring the West, leading to similar health concerns. It's a combination of need and convenient solutions meeting that need.
Okay, good point. Let's quickly cover the other regions. South America, Middle East, Africa. Kind of grouping them here. South America went from about $5 million in 2021, projected to double to over $10 million by 2033.
Doubling.
Brazil leads, followed by Argentina, Colombia, and the rest of South America also set to more than double. Then the Middle East, also showing promise. Around $5 million in 2021, heading towards $13 million plus by 2033.
Decent growth there, too.
Yeah, and Saudi Arabia, Turkey, the UAE, all showing key years over 7.8%, and the rest of the Middle East even higher, over 8%.
Consistent theme, that rest of category often shows strong growth.
It seems so. And finally, Africa. Smaller market, but growing. From about $3.5 million in 2021 to nearly $9.5 million by 2033, so nearly tripling.
Tripling.
South Africa is the main contributor, but Nigeria and the rest of Africa showing steady gains too.
So this really raises an important question, isn't it? Seeing this consistent growth, maybe not huge numbers compared to NA or APAC, but solid, consistent growth across all these diverse regions.
Yeah, what does it tell us?
It strongly suggests that the underlying drivers, the awareness of spinal health, the need for solutions, are truly global now. It's not just a developed world issue.
And maybe the devices are becoming more accessible.
I think that's key. Increased accessibility, perhaps through e-commerce, direct-to-consumer models reaching further. It points to a worldwide trend in health and wellness becoming more mainstream.
Right, so let's pull back a bit. What does this all boil down to for you, the listener? What are the main forces pushing this market forward globally?
The report points pretty clearly to, well, growing awareness, like we've said, and just the sheer need for this kind of equipment.
Yeah, the need is undeniable.
I mean, who doesn't feel that neck strain after hours on a computer or phone? These sedentary lifestyles are really taking a toll on our spines.
It's a modern epidemic almost.
And it's not just about identifying the problem. The report really stresses innovation as a driver, specifically those home use devices.
Ah, yes. That's crucial.
That seems to be a huge factor, especially when you see those strong growth rates, those KGRs, in emerging economies. Accessible at-home solutions seem to be key.
Absolutely. If we connect all the dots, you have these widespread lifestyle changes causing the problem.
Right.
Then you have increased awareness, making people recognize the problem and seek help. And then you have technology delivering convenient, effective solutions like these home traction devices. It's that convergence that creates such a robust market. And for the listener, what's the takeaway there?
I think it speaks to how personal healthcare is changing. It's becoming less confined to clinics, more accessible, more integrated into our daily lives. The convenience of managing something like neck pain from your own home proactively. That's a powerful shift.
Okay, so to wrap up this deep dive then, the big picture is this cervical vertebra tractor market. It's not just ticking along, it's expanding significantly across the globe.
Definitely expanding.
And it's really being fueled by, well, the downsides of our modern lifestyles, sedentary habits, screen time, but also by positive factors like greater health awareness and, critically, innovation in accessible home use treatments.
Well put. Need-meeting innovation.
Yeah. So maybe a final thought for you to consider.
Given how widespread these lifestyle issues are, this rise in sedentary behavior, the focus on wellness, what other health markets, maybe ones that seem kind of niche right now, could be about to see similar unexpected growth?
That's a good question.
And thinking further ahead, how will innovations keep changing things, shifting more healthcare solutions away from the clinic and directly into our homes? Something to ponder.
Definitely something to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the global cervical vertebra tractor market. We hope this look at the numbers and trends has given you some insight into how these market forces connect directly to our health, our habits, and the way technology is shaping personal well-being.
Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we cut through the noise to bring you the sharpest insights. Today we're focusing on something that probably affects a lot of us, the market for, well, neck traction devices. The report we're looking at calls it the cervical vertebra tractor market, basically tools to gently stretch your neck, relieve pain, maybe help recovery. Our main source here is Cognitive Market Research, and they found this market is really taking off on a significant upward trajectory, as they put it. So we're going to explore what's driving this, what's holding it back a bit, and where things seem to be headed. This deep dive is definitely for you if you know that neck stiffness from desk work, or if you're just curious about these kinds of personal wellness tools.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. What's really fueling this market's growth? If a report points to more cervical spondylosis and other neck problems, seems straightforward. But what's the story behind the story?
Yeah, it seems obvious, but it's actually reflecting a pretty big shift in society. I mean, the reasons for these neck issues are clear, right? Bad posture, sitting around too much, getting older, and, well, staring at screens constantly. But the really interesting insight is how fast these big trends are turning into, well, a booming consumer health market. Cervical spondylosis, that's just a fancy term for age-related wear and tear in the neck, disc load, and other neck stuff. It's not just clinical cases anymore. It's affecting you, potentially, and millions like you, hunched over laptops or phones. So this huge prevalence means these devices aren't just for the clinic. They're becoming common household items. That's creating this massive demand across really all age groups.
That makes a lot of sense. So it's not just more neck pain, it's also maybe how we're choosing to deal with it. Are people actively looking for alternatives to, say, surgery?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a definite trend towards non-surgical ways to manage pain. People are, trying conservative treatments first more often. And what's really appealing about these cervical traction devices is they offer a drug-free, non-invasive option. Good for things like general neck stiffness, maybe even herniated discs or pinched nerves. They kind of empower people with tools for self-management, which hits this whole bigger trend in healthcare where, patients want more control. Digital health has really pushed that forward too. And it's not just about wanting it in some places. You're seeing better reimbursement support. Insurance or health systems might cover them, which obviously helps people actually get them. Plus, physiotherapy and rehab services are easier to access now, especially in cities, and they often integrate these devices into the treatment plan.
Okay, so with this demand for non-surgical options people can use themselves, I'm curious about the tech side. Are the devices actually getting better, more user-friendly for someone at home?
Oh, definitely. Technology is a huge driver here, especially things like portable systems, pneumatic traction. Think about it. Older devices could be pretty awkward, kind of clunky. Today's devices,
Hmm.
much lighter, easier to adjust, way more comfortable. Pneumatic ones, for example, use air pressure, so it's a controlled, gentle stretch. Much less intimidating, right?
Yeah.
And this isn't just about making them look nicer. It genuinely improves how well the treatment works and makes people happier using them. That makes them a much more attractive option for regular use.
So we've got these strong drivers pushing the market up, but like always, there must be some bumps in the road, right? What are the main things kind of slowing things down or causing friction?
That's a really important point. One significant issue is the lack of sort of standardized clinical proof for long-term effectiveness. Even though they're popular, the results in studies can be a bit inconsistent. That means some doctors might hesitate to fully recommend them. And, especially for devices used at home, there's always that risk of someone using it wrong. Without proper guidance, you could actually end up with like muscle strain or headaches. And that obviously would put people off.
Right. Misuse is always a concern with home devices. And what about the cost? Can everyone who needs one actually afford one?
Yeah, that's another big hurdle, unfortunately. In a lot of places, insurance policies don't really cover them well. They might see them as like wellness gadgets rather than essential medical tools. So that makes them unaffordable for people on lower incomes who might really benefit. And then there's just a ton of competition from other therapies. Think about yoga, regular physio, acupuncture, even just painkillers you can buy anywhere.
Yeah.
People have different preferences, right? And all these alternatives mean they might not turn to a traction device specifically.
Hmm.
So what does that mean overall? It means the market has to grapple with needing better scientific backing and fitting into this really broad landscape of health choices people have.
That gives us a good sense of the current challenges. Okay, let's shift gears and look forward. What are the big trends shaping where this market is going next?
Well, what's fascinating here is the huge surge in demand for home therapy gear. Especially after the pandemic, people really invested more in managing their own health at home. It's a sustained thing. So cervical traction devices made for home use are really taking off, particularly online through e-commerce. Makes them super accessible. Another really interesting trend is the focus on making them, well, more ergonomic and customizable. Companies are adding features like memory foam, fittings you can adjust perfectly to your neck, ways to control the pressure precisely. It's all about making them more comfortable and easier to stick with using long term. Not like those old, slightly scary-looking contraptions.
Yeah, definitely sounds more appealing. Are we seeing tech, like digital health, playing a role too? Smart devices, maybe?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're starting to see smart cervical traction devices emerge. Often they connect to an app so you can track your sessions, maybe monitor progress. Some even have remote monitoring capabilities. And if you think about the bigger picture, That fits perfectly with telehealth. Therapists could potentially monitor how a patient is doing remotely, check if they're using it correctly. That's a potential game changer for keeping people on track with their therapy.
Okay, interesting. And is the industry targeting any particular groups or sectors for growth? Where's the focus?
Yes, definitely. There's a growing focus on corporate wellness programs and occupational health. You see brands specifically marketing these devices to desk workers, people working remotely, positioning them as proactive tools. Something to help prevent or manage posture-related neck pain before it gets bad. So if you're someone spending hours at a computer, you might start seeing these pop up more, maybe through your employer's wellness initiatives or just advertised directly to you.
So we've covered quite a bit, the strong growth drivers, the significant hurdles, and these really interesting future trends for cervical traction devices. It's clearly a market that's moving fast, responding not just to medical needs, but also these bigger shifts in how we live and the tech available to us.
Exactly. I mean, this deep dive really highlights how much consumer demand and new technology are changing personal health management. Whether you're working in healthcare innovation, maybe for a wellness brand, or honestly just someone who sits at a desk a lot, understanding this stuff is pretty relevant. It shows how the future of wellness is taking shape, affecting our daily comfort, really.
And that brings us to our final thought for you to dig you on. How might all these innovations, this trend towards self-managed care, fundamentally change how we approach everyday wellness? How we manage these common aches and pains in the years ahead? It feels like it's more than just about a device, doesn't it? It's maybe a shift in how we think about taking care of ourselves and how easy it becomes to do that.